Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Quran Book Club. I just finished reading Surah 10, Yunus, or Jonah, and I have some thoughts I want to share. Also, I want to say two random things before we get into it. Number one, a lot of people were telling me to listen to Arabic recitations. I don't know how to say that word, of the Quran, and I've been doing that. Each surah I read, I listen to an Arabic reading of it. I'm going to say reading because I don't know how to say that word. And it has been very fun, honestly. I understand now why people say that the way that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was speaking, is proof in and of itself that it comes from God, and that the way the Quran is spoken is the word of God. Because I have heard many people speak Arabic. I don't know Arabic, other than the main words. But I've never heard Arabic spoken in that way before. So I get that. I understand why people say it was so impressive for him to speak in that way, because how he couldn't have just done it without the help from God. I understand that now. I want to say thank you to everybody who was telling me customs and things about the mosques. I did not realize that they are separated by gender. That might make things a little bit tricky considering the transgenderness. But I think what I will do is look into the mosques that are near me and either reach out to the imam, and see what the vibes are and how to navigate that. A lot of people are also saying that there are usually that mosques will do events for newcomers or for learners. That typically are less that I wouldn't really be required to go and be separated by gender, or it would be a more, I don't know. I think I'm going to try and see if anyone's doing that. I'm also going to reach out to some of my Muslim friends and see what's going on. A lot of people were saying that perhaps I should go on the male side and go with a male friends. I don't have any Muslim male friends. All of my Muslim friends are women, so that makes things also a little bit tricky, but I'll figure it out. Also, while I was listening to the Arabic recitation, I don't know, on my phone, I will say my cat Claire, who everyone seems to be a big fan of, she does love to read, so she's been kind of peeking at the Quran with me, and she loved the Arabic version. She was sitting by my phone the whole time, and she even put her hands on top of my phone. So she loves it too. We both love it. Okay, so now let's get into the actual Quran reading that I read today. So I think in this video, I'm going to do again some more random ones, and then any other bigger topics I'm going to make into separate videos. So first I want to talk about, it was mentioned right at the beginning of this surah, talked about how God made the earth in 6 days. Somebody had commented in one of my other videos that the 6 days, or I think maybe even was a footnote in here, I honestly can't remember. They were saying that the 6 days don't necessarily mean 24-hour periods like we refer to a day. And that a day to God could have been closer to 100 or 1,000 years. That was just a really interesting parallel, because I have a friend who, their family is Christian, and their father is super, he's just super, I have beef with him personally, but he also believes that when it says God made the earth, the heavens and the earth in 7 days, that it's not talking about 7 days, and he also believes that it is a span of hundreds and thousands of years, and that humans did not comprehend what a day was in the eyes of God. So I just thought that was a really cool parallel, that even this guy that I know who's super Christian and is super also believes the same thing. I just thought that was cool. A lot of people were also asking me to respond to the scientific facts that are listed in the Quran. I'm reading it start to finish. So if it's if they're all jumped around, I'm not going to make one big video about it. But the first one was listed right here. Verse 5, Signs in God's creation. It says, He is the one who made the sun a radiant source and the moon a reflected light, with precisely ordained phases, so that you may know the number of years and calculation of time. God did not create all of this except for a purpose. He made the signs clear for the people of knowledge. and the moon a reflected light is crazy. A lot of ancient religions that I'm aware of believe in like a sun god and a moon god, and that usually the sun and moon are seen as like sisters, and that typically when the sun is shining, the moon is sleeping, and vice versa, and that they work kind of in harmony. But I do know that it was a much more modern revelation that the sun actually reflects off of the moon. The sun reflects light onto the moon, and that's where the moon gets its light from. And I think that was like discovered in like Greece or something like that, or Rome or whatever it was at the time. I do have to say that I think when people who are not white understand something before the white people do, the white people always have to make it a whole thing about how once the white people discover it, they're like, we figured it out. It was us. They did the same thing with, or they have to like downplay it, which drives me nuts. Like the pyramids in Egypt. Everybody in America, there's like a huge conspiracy theory that the aliens built the pyramids in Egypt, or that they had help from these giants, because there's no way people could have done that. Newsflash! People of color are smarter than white people. I don't know. I don't think that needs to be explained. I think that's just an obviously known fact. I think the people of Egypt way back in the day were smart enough to build the pyramids. I'm sure they figured out a way to do it. People also in America think that aliens built the temples in India. Again, I'm sure that they knew how to do it. I'm sure that they were completely capable of innovation. Also, a lot of people are talking about geometric art, and because the Quran, or in Islam in general, you don't make God or Muhammad in art, because it's like considered, I don't know if sacrilegious would be the correct term. That's like the Christian term I think that you would use. I guess maybe haram. But, and that is why there was such a big push of like geometric art in Arabic countries, in Arabia and everything. Which, again, when white people did not hop onto the geometric art train until like the 1950s, 60s, because white people were so focused on painting people and God and Jesus and all the saints and the angels, honestly. They were so focused on painting them with as much detail as they physically could, that it was up until the camera was invented and we didn't have a need to paint people realistically, and we could just take a picture of them. It was only after that white people started to deconstruct their own art, and then it kind of went from like realistic to like realistic interpretations of like dreams, and then it was like, what is kind of even going on? And then it was like, it kind of devolved into abstraction, and then we get to geometric art. And then again in the 1960s, the CIA in America pushed this really heavy agenda this is a fun fact, like abstract art, because they wanted to push the opposite narrative of what was going on in the USSR, which was realism. And they wanted to be like, in America, where we don't have communism, people can paint whatever they want. Look at this geometric art. You could never paint that in the USSR. And they were trying to make the US like the capital of art in the world. Meanwhile, y'all were on the geometric art train for forever. So, rock on. The fact that y'all knew the moon was reflected light from the sun, that's crazy. Because how would people have known that? People back then thought that the earth was the center and things revolved around the earth. So, that's cool to me. Assalamu alaikum. We're in Quran Book Club. We're on Surah 10, YUNUS. This next part, verse 12. Whenever someone is touched by hardship, they cry out to us, whether lying on their side, sitting or standing. But when we relieve their hardship, they return to their old ways as if they had never cried out to us to remove any hardship. This is how the misdeeds of the transgressors have been made appealing to them. This kind of concept of like reaching out to God for help, and then God helps you, and then you turn your back on him, is reflected a lot in this surah, I feel like. Verses 22 and 23, it mentions kind of again, he is the one who enables you to travel through the land and sea, and it so happens that you are on ships sailing with a favorable wind, to the passengers' delight. Suddenly, the ships are overcome by a gale wind, and those on board are overwhelmed by waves from every side, and they assume they are doomed. They cry out to God alone in sincere devotion, "If you save us from this, we will certainly be grateful." But as soon as he rescues them, they transgress in the land unjustly. "O humanity, your transgression is only against your own souls. There is only brief enjoyment in this worldly life. Then to us it is your return, and then we will inform you of what you used to do." Now, I've touched on this before, and I did learn this at a Christian church. It was a very hippy-dippy, loosey-goosey kind of Christian church, but he was speaking about how you do not ask God for, material things. You do not just say, "God, I need, can you help me pass this test? God, can you help me get this raise? Blah, 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 blah." That's not what God is for. You cannot just ask God for help on something. And this is something I'm guilty of too. I've done it in the past for sure. Maybe even recently I've done it. I personally do not, pray to God or speak to God very often. Maybe that's something that will change. I'm not really sure. But I feel like you can't just ask God for help, and then if he helps you, and then you, act like he didn't, and you just ignore him again. But it's then people throughout the Quran are also saying, show us a sign, and then we'll believe. But it's he literally just did. He literally saved you from drowning in the ship. If he literally just did, and then you turn your back on him, he just did show you a sign. Am I crazy? He did show you a sign. I don't know. Perhaps, and like I said, this is something I've been guilty of, and maybe it's something that moving forward I will try not to do. But how are you going to ask God for help and then ignore him when he helps you? That makes no sense to me. Because I will admit, I have said things like, "God, if you blah, 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 I'll go to church on Sunday." Or I'll, and I've done it. Things have happened and I've gone to church for it. But it's you can't just tell God, and that's tacky of me to ask God to do things for me like that. And I know that, and I already knew that. So moving forward, perhaps I should stop doing that. But, we all sin and we all are guilty of certain things. But, I don't know, you can't just tell God to help you and then ignore him after he helps you. That's rude. That's not even being a good friend at the end of the day. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to BookClub. We're still in Surah 10, Yunus. The pagans are back, and they are still driving me absolutely bonkers. Verse 13 through 18 reads, "We surely destroyed other peoples before you when they did wrong, and their messengers came to them with clear proofs, but they would not believe. This is how we reward the wicked people. Then we made you the successors in the land to see how you would act." Okay, this is your test. Let's find out. 15. "When our clear revelations are recited to them, those who do not expect to meet us say to the prophet, 'This is crazy. This is crazy. Bring us a different Quran or make some changes in it.'" This is reminding me of the people who are "Hey, can you make me a new God?" What are you talking about, make me a new God? What are you talking about, bring us a different Quran or make some changes in it? What, literally, what are you talking about, make some changes in it? Did they expect them to, go in with a red pen and, cross some things out and write over it, JK? I don't know. That's crazy to me. Make changes. Give us a new Quran or make changes to it. Again, what are you literally talking about? Say to them, "It is not for me to change it on my own. I only follow what is revealed to me. I fear if I were to disobey my Lord, the punishment of a tremendous day." Duh. Again, what are you talking? The man is what are y'all talking about? What do you mean change it? It's not, I didn't even write it. It was literally revealed to me through God. What are you talking about? The pagans, I say, "God had willed, I would not have recited it to you, nor would he have made it known to you. I have lived my whole life among you before this revelation. Do you not understand? Who does more wrong than those who fabricate lies against God or deny his revelations? Indeed, the wicked will never succeed." Kind of gobbled them up right here too. "They worship, besides God, others who can neither harm nor benefit them, and say, 'These are our intercessors with God.' Ask them, O prophet," gobbled up, "Are you informing God of something he does not know in the heavens and the earth? Glorified and exalted is he above what they associate with him." Again, you cannot just make up what God said. You can make a conscious decision whether or not you believe in what God revealed, or you can even make a decision of whether or not you believe that the Prophet Muhammad was revealing what God is saying, or was being gifted revelations from God. Like, you can believe that that's not what was happening, but you can't just sit here and say to change it. You cannot sit here and say that you want him to change what he's saying to fit your own agenda. Again, believe or don't believe. Like, you can't just ask the man to change it. That's crazy. And you can't ask God to just change what he says. He said what he said and he meant it. You can agree or disagree. You can believe or not believe. But to ask the man to change it and to change what he... Like, if Muhammad is saying, God revealed this to me and I'm revealing it to you, and you're telling him, change what God is telling you. Baby, what do you want me to do? Go talk to him? Like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, I'm not fighting with God. Like, I don't know. It's just Welcome crazy. Back to Quran Book Club, Surah 10. Yunus, this surah seems to have a lot of people who don't believe in God, and then as soon as they are about to die, they want to suddenly act like they believed in God, or they want to act like they believe in God, and then God rewards them, and then they pretend like they didn't. They were like, oh, I'm just kidding. This was like a nice nail in the coffin, dare I say, or this was a nice wrap-up verse for me. This is towards the end. This is verse 90. It's titled, The End of the Pharaoh. We brought the children of Israel across the sea. Then Pharaoh and his soldiers pursued them unjustly and oppressively. But as the Pharaoh was drowning, he cried out, I believe that there is no God except that in whom the children of Israel believe, and I am now one of those who submit. Oh, now you want... Okay, now you're... Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. He was told, now you believe? Exactly. Oh, now you believe. Oh, okay. He was told, now you believe, but you always disobeyed and were one of the corruptors. Today we will preserve your... Today we will preserve your corpse so that you may become an example for those who come after you. And surely most people are heedless of our examples. Like, wow. Like, just wow. Like, oh, now you want to believe? Okay, well, I'll tell you what. How about we just use you as an example for everybody else? Yeah, because you were an awful person, it sounds like. Yeah. I don't know. A lot of hypocrites in this chapter. A lot of people asking some very ballsy things to the Prophet. Asking him to change things. Asking him to invent things. Asking him to hasten the judgment day, I think. Which is also crazy. Like, just some crazy hypocrisy and some crazy, like, people trying to, I think, like, bargain with God, and, like, if God is all-knowing and all-powerful, like, how are you going to bargain with,